So this is going to be part 5 of the Honda Passport C70 or Super Cub restoration. In this part, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get our sealer primer on all the parts that we have coated with our etching primer. Fortunately, I forgot to sandblast the swing arm, and that was good because I was then able to color match against that with some single stage enamel. So I'll show you what this looks like right here. You can see that nice, it's similar, very similar, pretty much the same as the original paint code PB31 Blue Angels, what the paint was called. It was only made for 2 years. Having different paint shops locally search for that, and even online, I could only find it one place online in the States, and the order would have been like $200 a quart, and I'm just not going there. So for 44 bucks, we got that stuff there, and you can see it'll be pretty much exactly what we're looking for. So I'll sand and clean up our swing arm. We'll get that primed. We'll give this all a quick blast with air because it's been sat around collecting dust for a bit, and we'll get this stuff primed with the sealer primer as well. We'll give that 24 to 48 hours to cure up, and then we'll go ahead and we'll hit the HVLP sprayers, and we'll get everything sprayed so we can get ready to start putting stuff back together. On top of that, there's some plastics I need to order, and then we just need to make a decision as to whether or not we want to rebuild the motor or run it the way it is. It's very low kilometers. There's only like 1,400 kilometers on it, I believe, so that'd be like probably around 900 miles. Really not a whole lot. So I'll clean up the motor, and then we'll make a determination whether or not we want to actually take it apart and rebuild it, or if we should just run it the way it is. I'm leaning toward the latter. So let's go ahead and get the swing arm cleaned up, and we'll start getting all this stuff primed and ready for paint. So there's our swing arm after about 15-20 minutes of sandblasting. A few spots where there's a little tiny bit of paint left on it here and there, but that's all really smooth now. So when I get that covered with the etching primer, it'll look fantastic. So I'm going to tape up these grommets. We're going to hit this with a couple quick light coats of the etching primer, and then we can turn our attention to getting this as well as the rest of the components primed with some good thick sealer primer. So let's hang this up and get it done with some etching primer. Just quickly while we're between coats, you can see I got everything moved out of the garage, everything being the ATC 70, the Mrs. CRF 150, the XL 125, and the new to me Honda CRF 250L. So I got rid of my KLX 250S. One day I decided I wanted to sell it. It was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It was gone by 6. I managed to get enough for it, plus a few bucks I had poking around, to go out and buy this 2015 CRF 250L secondhand. So I've got a couple modifications I plan on doing to that bike, including building up some protective gear for it. So we're going to do an aluminum skid plate for it, as well as an aluminum rad guard. But to do that I need an AC/DC TIG welder, which for my birthday next month I'm going to go ahead and buy myself. Either way, let's check out the swing arm, see if it's ready for coat number 2 of the etching primer. So while those 2 coats are drying on our swing arm, I went ahead and got all our parts laid out now. Let me see if I can get you down on this, on the motorcycle lift. So what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to give these a quick blast off with some compressed air. Then I'll go ahead and I'll hit the top side, or the side is facing up currently, with some of our filler sealer primer. And then once that's dry, we'll flip it all over and we'll do the other side. And then once we get those parts done, we can then turn our attention back around to the frame and the fork, which will hang up alongside the swing arm there. And we can go ahead and get those filler sealer primed as well. So this is my first time using this style of primer. Here's where I lay that can to. So this is can. Transtar Auto Body Technologies Incorporated 2-in-1 Primer Gray. I just put this coat on like within the last 5 minutes, and you can see this stuff has a flash time like 10 to 15 minutes. But if I get in close, you can see just how smooth this stuff goes on. Like, I'm pretty confident most of these parts, I'm not even going to have the sand. That just looks so good, just with the primer. So the paint is going to sit on top of that just beautifully. It's And I put it on thick too, and like no runs, it flashed off. This really quality primer. So I'm pretty sure going forward, this is the stuff I'm going to use. So anyways, I'm going to give this stuff the, it says 15 to 20 minutes flash time, and then there's like a half hour to sanding time. But I'm going to give this stuff a couple hours, flip it over, and do the other side. But in the meantime, while this is drying, sorry, I'll hang up the frame, the forks, with the swing arm, and we'll get that stuff primed up as well. Once again, I just want to take a quick look. You can see how nice this stuff dries. It dries out really smooth. So there's going to be little to no sanding involved here before I put the color coat on. So I'm going to flip the other parts on the motorcycle lift over. We're going to get the other side done, and then that should be it for priming. Then we're ready for some paint. So let's get those parts flipped over and primed. So here's all the components primed. These ones are now all primed both sides. So this is all the stuff that's going black. This is a couple components here. These are going that nice blue color. And we've also got the fork, swing arm, and the frame all ready. Like I mentioned before, and like I zoomed in and showed you, a lot of this stuff, man, it looks like it's paint ready. This stuff lays out super smooth when it dries. So I'm very likely going to continue using this stuff going forward. It was a little more expensive, might have been like 15, 16 bucks a can, but for this result, it's well worth it. So I'm going to go away for 24 hours. We're going to let all this stuff cure and set up really nice, and then we're going to throw some paint on it. So I'll see you guys in the morning. So I just went to let some, I guess any excess water that's in the bottom of my compressor out, and when I did, the middle part here got blasted out and all the air started rushing out of my compressor, and I also got a face shot of rusty water. So that sucks. It appears that this is not going to seal anymore. I've got this turned all the way in. I think it actually blasted the rubber O-ring to bits. I can see there was a tear in it. If I try blowing through this, you can hear there's air going through it, and there shouldn't be. So now I need to go pick up a replacement one of these. So I'm gonna go wash my face, pick up a replacement of these, and hopefully get back so I can get these parts painted. I'll see you guys shortly. So as you can see, I've got all my parts hung up from the ceiling. So my fork, my swing arm, frame, the tank slash seat, whatever you want to call that, the bars, and the front guard or plate there. That's all hung up and ready for paint. So I'm going to quickly hit all this with some wax and grease remover. Then I'm going to go ahead and get suited up, and then we're going to go ahead and put some paint on it. So I've got a fan in the window here, and I've got this drop cloth that's covering, for the most part, this side of the garage, so any spray will stay within here or get pulled out with the fan. Either way, wax and grease remover, and we're going to get down to painting. So just as a heads up, I'm switching over to my iPhone to record this because I don't want to get any overspray on my nice DSLR camera that I usually record with. Here's just a quick look at the results after coat one of paint. So we've got the forks here, looking nice. There's a couple of little lighter spots on the front there. I'm going to put the second coat on, that should take care of it. Our swing arm, frame, and then we got our front badge cover thingy, the bars, and the gas tank thing. So now with that bit of painting done, I think I'm going to call it for this one. We'll just have one more quick close look at our parts. So you can see here's the fork. Instead I put on a thicker coat for the last coat there. It got rid of most of the eggshell and made things look nice and smooth. See the reflections of things in itself there. So it's looking really nice. I'm really happy with the way this paint turned out. Frame. We got our front badge guard thing. Our bars are looking really smooth, really nice. and the gas tank cover seat pan thing. So I'm gonna call it for that one. In the next one, we're gonna pick up with getting these black parts painted black, and then we're gonna start ordering some plastics because the plastics that we had for this are trash. So we're gonna get a new front fender plastic, the new shin guard, probably order these new side plastics as well, and then depending on how well they match. And I mean, if I just grab one of these shocks here for a second, we hold that next to our color. Let's hold it up next to the frame here. So this is going to be mounted back here on the frame. As you can see, that color is pretty close. I don't think you'll be able to tell much of a difference if that's driving by at 45 kilometers per hour. So yeah, I think I'm going to buy another pint of this color, and we'll use that to color match the plastics when we order them in case they don't match up. So anyways, I want to thank you guys a lot for watching. Hopefully shooting the end of this video with my iPhone camera wasn't too harsh on you. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers!